Basic appraisal procedures. Page 1. Valuation procedures. Unit 1. The steps in the appraisal process serve as a pathway for developing and reporting an opinion of value. This chapter introduces the fundamental concepts, terminology, and processes involved in performing an appraisal. We begin our discussion with problem identification, which is the foundation for the appraiser's scope of work decision. Data collection, verification, and analysis are also important parts of the appraisal process. Acceptable methods and sources to obtain and verify data for property valuation are introduced. You will also learn how the value conclusions from the various analysis methods are reconciled and reported, including steps in the reconciliation process and an overview of indicators relied on to develop a value opinion. Finally, we look at appraisal reporting and how USPAP and other standards and guidelines influence appraisers' reporting options. Page 2. Property valuation. For those unfamiliar with appraisal, the consensus might be that an appraiser gathers data about the property being appraised, and then goes to work crunching numbers. Some are even under the impression that the appraiser looks at or considers a property and then forms an opinion about its value. The crystal ball misconception. As you begin your practical experience, you will be amazed how often you encounter this idea. Appraisal opinions are developed objectively. There is no place in the world of professional appraisal practice for unsupported or off the top of the head subjectivity. Extra note: amount of something C for the effective date. Assumption: that which is taken to be true. Effective date: the date for which value was established by an appraisal. Exposure time: estimated length of time a property interest being appraised would have been offered on the market prior to the hypothetical consummation of a sale at market value on the effective date of the appraisal. Extraordinary assumption: an assumption directly related to a specific assignment as of the effective date of the assignment results, which, if found to be false, could alter the appraiser's opinions or conclusions. General data: information that covers the forces that affect property values, but are not directly related to a particular piece of property. General data covers economic, governmental, social, and physical factors, and can be local or national. Compare specific data. Hypothetical condition: a condition related to a specific assignment, which is contrary to what is known by the appraiser to exist on the effective date of the assignment results, but is used for the purpose of analysis. Extra note: something subjective. Intended use. The use or uses of an appraiser's reported appraisal, appraisal review, or appraisal consulting assignment, opinions and conclusions, as identified by the appraiser based on communication with the client at the time of the assignment. Intended user. The client and any other party as identified by name or type as users of the appraisal, appraisal review, or appraisal consulting report by the appraiser on the basis of communication with the client at the time of the assignment. Jurisdictional exception. An assignment condition established by applicable law or regulation, which precludes an appraiser from complying with a part of USPAP. Steps in the appraisal process. When an appraisal is performed, Standard 1 of USPAP provides a specific step-by-step process. The purpose is to ensure the process leading to the appraisal report is orderly, using a progression of steps in a thorough, comprehensive, and accurate manner. Appraisals are valuable tools users can consider as credible resources when making decisions. The steps in the appraisal process are shown in the flowchart on page 3. Let's examine these steps in depth and see how an appraiser applies each in the process. 1. Defining the problem. Defining the problem consists of identifying information the appraiser uses to determine the scope of work in an assignment. This step is also referred to as identifying the problem or problem identification. Here the appraiser identifies several elements: client and intended users, intended use, type and definition of value, date of value opinion, relevant property characteristics, other assignment conditions. Extra note: no meaning the something except, I don't know. Identify the client and other intended users. The client is the party who engages the appraiser in an appraisal assignment and with whom the appraiser